guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 478. Today what we're trying to do is reduce back pain caused by running activities. Now, generally when we see people that get low back pain during running activities, it's because they have a loss of some type of motor coordination or motor control to hold their lower torso, their low back, stable while extending their hips. Now, this is of course assuming that they have proper hip extension in the first place, but run with me for this episode, for the sake of this episode, right? Here's what we're going to look at. When we bring people in that have, or that running causes them an issue, generally what we'll do is we'll put them horizontal. And we put them horizontal so that way we can look at them extending their hips in an active position, right? And this kind of replicates that walking or marching type of stride. Now, when we see people that have either an excessive arching, right, excessive hiking, or the inability, so as soon as they lift up their leg, they'll get this excessive twisting, we can do something very, very simple to help them. And the examination of what I just showed you of looking at that twisting is exactly what the rehabilitative steps are going to be. We're actually going to teach them how to lock down that torso and still move those hips independently of them, right? So, what we want to be able to do here is we want to get them right back in that same position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over top the ball. The middle of the ball is pretty much at my navel, belly button level, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze in my butt cheeks just a little bit. I always like to joke around and say this is like holding in a fart, right? So you're just squeezing just enough to have some tension, right? And then from right there, you're going to brace into the ball. What I mean by that is you're going to make the same brace that you're going to think of as if somebody's going to punch you in the stomach, okay? So once I get my core locked down in that position, all I'm going to start to do is raise up each foot. Now, people will tend to supersede or hyperextend in this position. So all I'm going to ask you to do is just raise it up to neutral level, okay? Now, what you're going to see, too, is that my heel is the driving force there, okay? Not my toe. Because, again, when we start to point our toe, we'll have a tendency to hyperextend. So, I want people to drive up with their heel just until we get into a straight line. And then we're going to go into this alternating position. And the goal is to have as little movement with our torso as possible. Now, I understand that you guys might not have a mirror or another person to watch you. So what you could do is you can bring yourself a foam roller. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to put the foam roller onto your back like such. You're going to get in that same position. Once that foam roller is set, right? And you're going to replicate the same activities that I just did, okay? So I squeeze the butt first, tighten the tummy second to brace. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start independently moving my legs. I'm going to alternate this, trying to do sets of 30. So that's 15 per side. Now, if the foam roller falls off, I start back at 0, okay? So here's what we're trying to do. And the idea behind it is just this. If we can hold a stable torso on the bottom, then we're not going to get excessive twisting. If we get excessive twisting, excessive hyperextension, that's going to sooner or later turn into a repetitive strain injury, which is something that we don't want to happen, okay? Now, the reason why I bring this up, of course, is because recently I've seen a lot of physio balls popping up into the gyms, and I see people using these activities, especially in the CrossFit activity or CrossFit world, and I see these common problems, these common faults when doing this. So please, guys, remember when you're doing this and whenever you're doing any rehabilitative work, that it's so important that we work on the motor control portion of it. That means locking the torso down, moving those appendages independently of our body, rather than just kind of going herky-jerky through the movements. That's the way we get the most benefit out of it. That's the way we get the most bang for our buck. So guys, hope this helps you out. Happy Friday, and until tomorrow, we are optimizing function to optimize performance.